My mind won't shut the fuck up. It's always telling me how awful I am, how fat I am, how unworthy I am. And I fucking had enough. The best part is, I don't actually have to listen to this mean voice inside my head anymore. But now comes the hard part. Cleaning up all of its mess and getting rid of every single fucked up word it has ever spoken to me. This is my therapy, my way of healing, and sharing all I have learnt over the last few years. So, enjoy my fucked up thoughts. I am a thinker, a deep one at that. My mind is constantly seeing the world through the eyes of an observer. I love to watch people and try to figure out what is going on inside of them. I observe those around me with a curiosity that can drive me a little mad sometimes because of the incessant need to know why. Why are you doing that? Why are you saying that? Why are you behaving in that way? What has caused you to do all of that? People have always fascinated me, but it wasn't until a few years ago when I began this desperate need to feel better, to be better, and to do better that the questions and observations took over so much of my thinking in a good way. Judgment still resides amongst my thoughts because my shitty voice cannot help but speak her opinion. But the questions are my way of understanding more about us as humans, especially myself. I want to know more. I want to know all of it. I want to be inside the minds of everyone to hear what is going on in there and see if I'm at least slightly right in my observation. This is such a huge part of my life now. I have even dedicated a document to those thoughts I deem too important to lose. They may not be of any importance to anyone else, but they are to me. They are helping me figure out my shit, helping me to listen to myself more closely and not just take Saskia's word for it. My shitty voice. I want to know who I am. I want to know how I became the woman I am today, especially the woman of only a few short years ago. She was miserable, and her suffering caused her to behave like an asshole. She was not nice. Weird as it sounds, being nice made her uncomfortable. Being nice was thrown back in her face. She was treated as if it was her fault. All her responsibility for the way her relationships were, as if they were the only one in them, as if she was the only one in them. Did no one else have a responsibility towards her to treat her with love and kindness? Just basically, it was a big fucking mess. Her mind, her life, her body, her thoughts and her feelings. They needed sorting out. The only way to do that was to dive into all of the shit and see what was hidden in there. Which is why there is pages and pages of thoughts and feelings written down in this document. And if you have read any of my columns or listened to the previous podcast, you will know I have had a problem with my weight, with food, with my body, and my happiness for way too many years of my life. It has been a fucking struggle to get to where I want to be, to find the woman I know lives inside of me. The woman who is not afraid to be kind and loving, who does it without condition, who gives herself freely to her life and those around her, who knows what she wants and just goes and gets it, whose confidence simply is. There's no question about her identity. She lives her life with ease. She lives life. She does not hide away from herself, from others, or from the world. She just does. And on one of my observation expeditions, where I was, for the billionth time in my life, pondering why I was the way I was and how I cannot be that anymore, I realized I am the exact opposite of the person I know my true self to be. I can feel her. I want to see her. However, when I go to imagine her, I cannot. I can't form an image in my mind. Visualization is a powerful tool for becoming what you want and getting what you want, but I just cannot seem to do it. It's like she doesn't completely exist without a physical impression. Maybe her physical impression isn't as important as her metaphysical one. It's what is inside that counts. As humans, we tend to see the physical first. Hard not to when a body is standing before you in all of its flesh. But on the other side of the veil, there is no physical form. There seems to be only feelings. Many feelings connected to the biggest one of all, unconditional love. That is something we struggle with here on earth. Too many other feelings and thoughts getting in the way, preventing that love from existing in its fullest absoluteness, which is where I sit in the struggle to be the opposite of who I have become. I may not be able to imagine that woman, but I can feel her. I can feel her essence more and more as the months go by. She is with me. She is of me. She is me. But yet, in that big old fucking butt, Saskia, my shitty voice, is holding her back, blocking her way to the front. Every time I feel her getting closer, Saskia pushes her further away. She does not want to give up control of this body and of this mind. I am not allowed any input. I am not allowed any say in what goes on. And this probably all sounds very crazy. You might be thinking, get the straitjacket out and send me off to the loony bin. You know, all this talk of different people inside of me, it sounds nuts. But if you step back, though, and observe the goings on inside your mind, then you too will notice there is more than one of you in there. Just being honest about it. Many years ago, you would be sent straight to the psych ward, but now, thankfully, we are becoming more aware of all that is inside our mind and even where that mind is located. There's a link in the description box for a great explanation if you'd like to know a little more about the mind and where it is located. And I believed for a very long time I was all of these horrible thoughts and my shitty mind was yelling at me. Okay, so look at it like this, right? There's 3 of you in your immediate family. You are all sitting at the dinner table, having a meal together, talking about the day you've had, the day you will be having tomorrow, the life you have lived up until now, all of your dreams and desires, all of your hurts and traumas. The discussion is open and endless. The meal is ended, but the conversation is still going on hours later, years later, decades later. And it is the same fucking conversation going on and on and on. The 3 of you, your loving voice, and your shitty voice, are all wanting to be heard, but only one of you is louder than the other. Can you guess who that is? Of course, it's your shitty voice. Your shitty voice is that loud and obnoxious family member who loves to control the conversation, who thinks their voice is the only voice that should be heard. They have opinion after opinion. They have story after story. They have advice after advice. They just cannot shut the fuck up. No matter how many times you've asked them to please be quiet. So you sit and listen, getting more and more upset, but they just won't shut up. You are at your wit's end, not knowing how to walk away. To get up and leave that whiny, complaining, nitpicking, mean voice behind. Even when you do find the strength to walk away, you can still hear them from the next room. But also at the table is your loving voice. She's quiet. She sits there with a smile on her face, comfortable and at peace. She can hear the shitty voice drone on and on, but she doesn't let her words bother her. She just listens And when she does have something to say, she says it. She doesn't wait for the shitty voice to quiet down, because that just never happens. She speaks her words with love and honesty, hoping that you can hear them. And finally, there is you at the table, the beautiful and wonderful human you. As all that incessant chatter from your shitty voice is going on, you sit there looking back on your life and looking forward on what might be, hoping and wanting to have the best life possible. You're in the moment asking yourself what you want, what you need. An idea forms and you like it. You sense it is the right thing for you at this time. But before you know it, your shitty voice is expressing their opinion again. And this expression of opinion does not stop. Underneath all of her mean and horrible words, you can hear your loving voice guiding you and supporting you. Feels good. Feels right. Which way do you go? Do you go towards what feels right, or do you listen to all the reasons why not? Whose voice do you trust the most? For most of us, we tend to trust the shitty voice. They give such good reasons as to why not. Those reasons are full of fear and full of unease. Doesn't feel good, but neither does the unknown. It is the unknown that gets us every time. The shitty voice is heard loud and clear. She is victorious and she relishes in the victory of keeping you safe once again. Crisis averted. She is so happy you are going to stay stuck in this version of yourself because she couldn't live with any other version than the one you are now. What a fucked up family dinner that is. This voice inside you has been so loud for so long, it is hard to know there is someone else talking to you. But what else makes you you? It's a lifetime of experiences, thoughts, feelings, family, friends, pain, reflections, memories, whether accurate or not, circumstances, beliefs, encounters, realities, issues, problems, moments, expectations, wants, desires, needs, failures, successes, characteristics, adventures, misadventures, suffering, happiness, joy, love, laughter, and tears. Every single thing that you have confronted and been a part of on the outside and on the inside has an effect on you. It shapes you. It becomes you. It is you. In the midst of all of that, there is so much more. A part of us we are unaware of, or at least not willing to be aware of. It is the true you. Even that part, though, has so many layers. It seems so complicated and extremely simple all at the same time. It can take decades to work out. It is all part of the process. Figuring out who you are at the center of all the bullshit. Knowing knowing what you want and what you don't want. What you like and what you don't like. And the conclusion I have come to about myself is that I am the exact opposite of the woman I know I can be. And here's what I know I am not. I am not a woman who uses food to comfort herself or punish herself. I am not a woman who treats herself with disgust and disdain. I am not a woman who blocks love from filling her whole body so she can enjoy every day of her life. I am not a woman who hates her body so much so that she has become completely disconnected from it. I am not a woman who lives in her anger because it is easier than feeling good about who she is. I am not a woman who allows her mind to dictate her life anymore, which stops her from living up to all of her amazing potential. Now this is who I feel me to be. I am a woman who loves who she is. Every single part of her, inside and out, including the shitty parts. I am a woman who loves to treat her body with care and respect that it deserves. I am a woman who nourishes her mind and her body with foods that are nutritious and delicious. I am a woman who eats with love and pride for who I am. I am a woman who allows myself to feel good about all that I want and knows how to go about getting them. I am a woman who listens to her loving voice for support and guidance. I am a woman who honors my need for healing. I am a woman who wakes up every morning excited to know more about who I am and gives myself permission to have fun with it. And every single observation drives my curiosity even further. We are an interesting species, that's for sure. I don't think I will ever stop observing. And I think the ultimate observation for myself and how I ended up being the woman I never wanted to be was that I was meant to be her. I was supposed to become her so that I could find my way back to all that I am. Love was removed from my life by so many different people, especially myself. My observations are bringing that love back to me, bringing me back to me, which is why I will never stop figuring out who I am. It will never end. I will end too at some point. There will always be more to uncover, and I can't wait. In the meantime, I will keep on shouting, "Shut the fuck up," to my shitty voice. Will you do the same? So here's your little exercise for the week. Observe, listen. Who's loudest? Who do you listen to the most? Does that voice lead you in the right direction? Does fear stop you from being who you truly are? Go within and ask what you can do to let the real you come forth. I just want to share with you some of my observational expeditions into my own mind. I need to move my limits up so that I don't keep bumping against the same old shitty limits that I've had on myself for years. And once I reach that set of limits, I can then move them again. Keep moving them to feel better and be better, to reach those achievements without banging my head on restricting limits. Another one. There are so many things, but ultimately none of them matter. What truly matters is feeling the absolute bliss within you in every moment. All the other stuff simply blocks the flow of bliss. I have this amazing body for a reason. The reason is so I can love it with all I have and more. And the focus needs to be on what I can do with this body rather than what it looks like, because it is capable of so much more, no matter what it looks like. If I had the perfect body, then my work would be completely different. I choose to trust that this is right for me, and I choose to love myself always and forever. My body is merely the vessel through which this message can be expressed. Emotions will always come back. They'll always come back up if you haven't dealt with them properly. They want the love and attention they deserve because they are a part of you. But it is their one and only wish to be released from limbo forever. Be an observer of your own life. Take a step back and see what you're really doing and go within to find out why you're doing it. Be truthful with yourself. No one else needs to know. Being honest will liberate you from the habitual burdens of your past life. I reckon you're not the only one with so many fucked up thoughts. So thank you for listening. And in the meantime, what are you going to do? You're going to keep on shouting? Shut the fuck up. Alright, until next time.